Hi, JP Fournier of the Movie Jerks here, coming to you on day 18 of Sci-Fi September, the month where I watch a science fiction film I've never seen every day for the full month. So today let's take a look at what we're watching. So we had Cryo yesterday, and today we're watching Trigger Points. The world had changed. Streets, day by day, were filled with protests, the unemployed, the lost, chaos. Then something happened. Something, though it had no name, had arrived. Fear. Fear overtook rationale. The streets became empty. The new age of reliance had begun. The reliance on power, the reliance on comfort, on certainty. Something had happened, but nobody knew what, until now. All right, not a very smooth synopsis, but let's take a look at Trigger Point. Trigger Points is yet another film that barely has 30 minutes of content and is stretched out to make a feature film. And this time, the lack of content is baffling, as the subject matter is ripe for some deep philosophical discussion. The term trigger points refers to a particular circumstance or situation that causes an event to occur. And as of recent years, trigger points have also been associated with more personal emotional experiences of those of past traumatic events and negative encounters. And these negative experiences can be set off by a spoken word, a sentence, or just the mention of a topic. In the film, an undisclosed event or action has triggered the world to change. And taking influences from Orwell's 1984, we are told the story through our protagonist's daily routine, under the power of a Big Brother type corporation, taking the role of a nourishing and supportive oppressor. As she begins to question the lack of her choices in life, she gets constant reminders from the oppressor of how good she currently has it.
The focus on the self will set you free. When you are concerned or worried, just think about how privileged you are to be here. Just look at the desolation out there.
And if she cannot maintain her steady performance, she could be entitled to being returned to the frightening world outside the facilities. And with this, the film vaguely explores the exploitation of people's triggers. This sets up an interesting concept of what may happen if trigger points are nourished, rewarded, and maintained by avoiding triggers instead of dealing with them. Well, I believe that's where this was going. As I have mentioned before, this was very vague, and much of the time in the film is spent without exploring this topic, instead displaying long drawn-out scenes of time passing. I can admit it is effective in two ways. First, being vague on the subject matter allows it to reach out to multiple topics and connect to a variety of relatable situations with vast audiences. And it successfully demonstrates how maddening it is to do nothing for long periods of time. As within 30 minutes of this film, I was right annoyed by the stretched out storytelling, with very little story to offer in the end. While I do like the film's attempt to say something profound,
those who wanted power knew that to achieve it they must have complete control and get rid of any future descent. To understand this, they placed selected future generations into an experiment, and a cause, a new belief system, a dogma was given to you.
the film may have been ironically a victim itself, as it purposely stays vague to avoid subject matters or even using specific words that may trigger sensitive audiences. And one last thing I'd like to reiterate is that this film is pretty f***ing boring. And there you have it, day 18 of Sci-Fi September out of the way. This time I watched Trigger Points. If you've seen Trigger Points, we'd love to see some comments in the comments section about this film. If you're curious about the other science fiction films we're watching this month, be sure to hit the subscribe button to get the daily updates. And for more information about the Movie Jerks, you can go to www.themoviejerks.ca.